How can a civilization that disappeared thousands of years ago still leave scientists scratching their heads? The Etruscans, one of the most mysterious cultures of ancient Italy, continue to surprise us even today. Known for their rich art, advanced cities, and influence on Roman culture, the Etruscans seem to come out of nowhere. For centuries, their origins were debated. Were they local to Italy? Or did they, as ancient historians like Herodotus suggested, migrate from far-off lands like Anatolia? It turns out the answers aren't as simple as we thought. With breakthroughs in genetic research, scientists have uncovered shocking truths about who the Etruscans really were. And trust me, the results will change the way you think about ancient history. In today's video, we'll explore the surprising discoveries hidden in their DNA, reveal what makes their culture so unique, and explain why the Etruscans remain such a fascinating piece of the human story. If you think history is just about dusty old books, get ready to see how cutting-edge science is reshaping what we thought we knew. Let's dive in. The Etruscans weren't just another ancient civilization. They were a puzzle that even the greatest minds of antiquity couldn't solve. Ancient historians were fascinated by them. Herodotus, often called the father of history, claimed the Etruscans had migrated from Anatolia, in what is now Turkey. According to his account, they set sail during a famine, bringing their unique culture and traditions to Italy. But not everyone agreed. Roman writers like Livy and Dionysius of Halicarnassus argued the Etruscans were indigenous to Italy, forming their identity right there in the heart of the peninsula. And they had good reason to believe that. The Etruscans left behind a cultural legacy that shaped Rome itself, from religious practices to engineering techniques and even political systems. Yet their language stood apart from everything else in the region. Unlike Latin or Greek, Etruscan had no clear relatives, and its inscriptions remain only partially deciphered. It was as if they were both part of Italy, and yet completely foreign at the same time. This paradox is what makes the Etruscans so fascinating. Who were they really? Where did they come from? For centuries, scholars relied on archaeology and linguistics to piece together their story, but the results were often inconclusive. That's where genetics comes in. In recent years, advances in DNA analysis have given us tools to answer questions that seemed impossible just a few decades ago. By analyzing the remains of Etruscans buried thousands of years ago, scientists are uncovering the truth behind their origins, and the answers are nothing short of revolutionary. So, were the Etruscans immigrants from Anatolia, or were they native Italians all along? The answers might surprise you. For centuries, the origins of the Etruscans were debated with no clear answer. Archaeologists uncovered incredible artifacts, linguists attempted to decode their mysterious language, and historians pored over ancient texts. But it wasn't until the modern era that we had the tools to truly dig deeper, right into their DNA. The turning point came with the rise of ancient DNA analysis, or ADNA, a revolutionary technique allowing scientists to extract and study genetic material from human remains that are thousands of years old. And when researchers turned this tool on the Etruscans, what they found was groundbreaking. For years, the dominant theory, backed by ancient historians like Herodotus, was that the Etruscans had migrated to Italy from Anatolia, bringing their culture and customs with them. But when scientists analyzed the DNA of individuals buried in Etruscan tombs, they discovered something surprising. Genetically, the Etruscans weren't much different from their neighbors, the Iron Age Italians. Let that sink in for a moment. Despite their distinct language, unique customs, and advanced culture, the Etruscans were genetically indistinguishable from the people already living in Italy at the time. This finding completely upended the theory of an Anatolian migration. Instead, it pointed to a new conclusion. The Etruscans weren't outsiders. They were locals who had developed a remarkably innovative culture right in the heart of Italy. To uncover this truth, researchers studied DNA from various Etruscan burial sites across Tuscany and Lazio. These sites offered a treasure trove of genetic data, preserved in the bones and teeth of individuals who lived over 2,500 years ago. By comparing their DNA to that of modern populations, scientists confirmed that the Etruscans shared a direct genetic link with modern Tuscans, suggesting continuity rather than displacement. But there was more. The genetic studies didn't just answer questions about where the Etruscans came from. They also revealed how their culture evolved. The findings showed that while their genes were local, Their culture might have been influenced by contacts with other Mediterranean civilizations, including the Greeks and Phoenicians. This combination of local roots and external influences created a civilization that was uniquely Etruscan, proving that cultural identity isn't always tied to genetic origins. And these discoveries are just the beginning. As technology advances, researchers continue to uncover more clues about the Etruscans, shining a light on one of history's most enigmatic civilizations. When scientists began piecing together the genetic puzzle of the Etruscans, they expected to find evidence supporting traditional theories about their origins. Instead, the findings defied expectations and offered insights that were even more intriguing. One of the most surprising revelations was the strong genetic continuity between the Etruscans and modern Tuscans. For centuries, people living in regions like Tuscany and Umbria have speculated about their connection to this ancient civilization. Now, genetic studies confirm that many modern inhabitants of these areas carry the same genetic signatures as their Etruscan ancestors. This remarkable link demonstrates that, despite cultural and political upheavals over millennia, the population of this region has remained surprisingly stable. But the surprises didn't end there. Researchers found that while the Etruscans were genetically similar to their Iron Age neighbors, their cultural identity was distinct. Their language, for instance, remains one of the most mysterious aspects of their civilization. Unlike Latin or Greek, Etruscan doesn't belong to the Indo-European family of languages, making it an outlier in the ancient world. So how did a group of people who were genetically local to Italy develop a language and culture that seemed so different? The answer lies in the interplay of genetics and cultural exchange. During the early Iron Age, the Mediterranean was a hub of trade and interaction. The Etruscans were at the crossroads of this activity, engaging with Greek, Phoenician, and other civilizations. These exchanges likely influenced their art, religion, and even aspects of their language, while their genetic lineage remained rooted in Italy. Another unexpected finding was the relative genetic stability of the Etruscan population over time. Unlike other regions of Europe that experienced significant genetic turnover due to large-scale migrations, the Etruscans showed remarkable continuity. This suggests that their society was resilient and well-organized, capable of maintaining stability even in the face of external pressures. These findings challenge traditional assumptions about the relationship between genetics and cultural identity. The Etruscans teach us that a distinct culture doesn't always arise from migration or conquest. Instead, it can emerge organically, shaped by local innovation and external influences. The study of Etruscan DNA doesn't just solve old mysteries. It opens new doors for understanding how civilizations evolve, adapt, and leave their mark on history. The genetic discoveries surrounding the Etruscans do more than solve an age-old mystery about their origins. They reshape our understanding of identity and culture itself. For centuries, historians believed that major cultural innovations were often the result of large-scale migrations. The Etruscans challenged this assumption entirely. Despite being genetically indistinguishable from their Iron Age Italian neighbors, they created a distinct and advanced culture that stood out in the ancient Mediterranean. This shows us that cultural identity isn't always linked to genetics. It can emerge organically through local innovation, adaptation, and interactions with other societies. What makes the Etruscans particularly fascinating is their resilience. Over time, they were absorbed into the Roman Republic, yet their influence never disappeared. From religious practices to engineering, and even aspects of governance, the Etruscans left an indelible mark on Rome. Their story is a reminder that even when a civilization fades politically, its cultural contributions can echo through history, shaping the future in profound ways. This discovery is part of a broader trend in how modern science is rewriting the past. Ancient DNA has already redefined what we thought we knew about other civilizations. For instance, studies of Viking genetics revealed that they weren't just Scandinavian raiders, but a diverse group shaped by extensive trade and migration. Similarly, research on the Indus Valley Civilization showed unexpected genetic links to both South Asia and distant regions, challenging the idea that they developed in isolation. The Etruscans fit into this evolving narrative, proving that the past is far more complex than simple stories of conquest or migration. But what makes this particularly relevant today is the way it forces us to reconsider the concept of identity. In a world where questions of heritage and belonging are increasingly significant, the Etruscans remind us that identity is never straightforward. It is a blend of our origins, how we adapt to the world around us, and the legacy we leave behind. The ongoing research into their genetics isn't just about understanding the Etruscans. It's about uncovering the shared story of humanity and the intricate ways in which cultures and people evolve. While the genetic discoveries about the Etruscans have answered some of the biggest questions about their origins, they have also highlighted how much we still don't know about this enigmatic civilization. For one, their language remains a significant mystery. Unlike the Indo-European languages of their neighbors, Etruscan stands apart, seemingly unrelated to any other language in the ancient world. Despite centuries of effort, scholars have only partially deciphered it, leaving many of their inscriptions and writings shrouded in mystery. Without a full understanding of their language, large parts of their history, beliefs, and daily life remain out of reach. Then there's the question of their cultural practices. While we know they were masterful builders and artists and had a deep influence on Roman religion and politics, much of their society's inner workings are still unclear. How did they govern themselves? What was the structure of their cities? What role did religion play in shaping their decisions? These gaps in our knowledge make the Etruscans feel both close and distant at the same time. Even their decline raises more questions than answers. How exactly did they lose their independence to the Romans? Was it a gradual assimilation, or were there moments of sharp conflict? And how did they perceive these changes? These are questions that archaeology alone can't answer, but future advancements in genetic and archaeological methods might bring us closer to understanding. Perhaps the most exciting aspect of studying the Etruscans today is the potential for future discoveries. As technology advances, new methods of extracting and analyzing ancient DNA could reveal more about their relationships with neighboring cultures and how they adapted to changes in their environment. Similarly, new archaeological techniques, such as ground-penetrating radar and AI-driven analysis, could uncover hidden Etruscan sites and artifacts, offering fresh insights into their lives. Ultimately, the Etruscans are a reminder of how much of history remains unwritten. Each discovery adds a new piece to the puzzle, but the full picture is still far from complete. This sense of mystery is what keeps scholars, scientists, and history enthusiasts captivated, driving the search for answers that may one day illuminate the world of this remarkable civilization. The story of the Etruscans isn't just about an ancient civilization. It's about how we understand ourselves. Their history, revealed through genetics, archaeology, and cultural studies, challenges us to rethink the narratives we've long accepted. The Etruscans remind us that identity is complex and that culture isn't always the product of migration or conquest. Sometimes, it's born from innovation, adaptation, and interaction. What makes their story so compelling is how deeply it resonates with modern questions of identity and heritage. In a world where borders blur and cultures merge, the Etruscans show us that it's possible to maintain a unique identity while being shaped by outside influences. Their legacy is a testament to the resilience of culture and the ways it can endure even when political power fades. But their story also highlights how much we have yet to uncover. The mysteries of their language, their governance, and their way of life continue to inspire curiosity. And as technology advances, the tools we use to study them grow ever more powerful. Each discovery not only adds to their story, but enriches our understanding of the human experience. The Etruscans matter because they connect us to the past in ways that feel personal. They show us the continuity between ancient and modern worlds, bridging gaps of thousands of years. Their DNA lives on in modern Italians. Their cultural innovations laid the groundwork for Rome, and their story reminds us of the incredible diversity of human civilization. As we continue to unravel the mysteries of the Etruscans, one thing is clear: the past is never truly behind us. It lives on in our genes, our cultures, and the questions we ask about who we are. And in that sense, the Etruscans remain as alive today as they were thousands of years ago, still teaching us, still surprising us, and still reminding us of the enduring power of history. If you've enjoyed uncovering this fascinating story, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share your thoughts in the comments. What other ancient mysteries would you like us to explore? Let us know. and let's continue this journey into the past together.